1958. This slide shows the recent operational results of JICA. In terms of loan, in 2013-14, our commitment amounted to 300 billion Japanese yen, equivalent to 16,000 crore rupee, which is the largest among recipient countries in the world. In recent years, our annual commitment to India is this level, around 300 billion Japanese yen. And also, we are increasing our assistance in other modes of assistance, including technical cooperation. We tripled our assistance level of technical cooperation during 5 years. Then I'll answer the first question. What is the contents and potentials of the Chennai-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor? The Chennai-Bangalore Industrial Corridor master plan was just finalized. Sorry, not June, in July, just recently. And the report consists of two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A is the comprehensive regional perspective plan for entire region, including development vision, integrated strategy, and infrastructure plan for next 20 years. Part B is for 3 selected industrial nodes, namely Ponneri in Tamil Nadu, Krishnapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, and Tumakuru in Karnataka. We prepared the vision, land plan, and infrastructure plan for these 3 nodes, including Ponneri in Tamil Nadu. So this is the outcome of Part A of master plan study. Long-term vision of the corridor is development of CIVIC region as globally competitive manufacturing hub that promotes sustainable development. And the principal themes are listed like this. Then target outcome include 12% the GDP growth in the region, boosting exports and value addition in key sectors, job creation of 22 million skilled workers, 25% contribution from manufacturing sector to regional GDP. In Tamil Nadu, we identified 5 key sectors, including automobiles, machinery, electrical machinery, computer, electronics, and optical, pharmaceutical, and chemicals and petrochemical. Also, we think infrastructure is really the key element for development of CIVIC region. That's why we identified 34 prioritized trunk infrastructures. This slide shows 4 examples of priority projects in Tamil Nadu, including the 2 roads project, container terminal and Ennore Port, and the desalination plant. And in fact, total infrastructure investment required for next 20 years is as large as $181 billion US. It's quite significant. This is outline of the Part B. As I said, we have prepared the development plan of Ponneri node. We prepared the industrial development vision, land use plan, and infrastructure plan for this Ponneri node. And we identify infrastructure like this. Also, we think the economic impact includes the more than 3 lakh employment, and industrial investment is the more than 2 lakh crore rupee. And for land acquisition, already around 1,000 crore is owned by TIDCO, and another 3,000 acres will be acquired soon. Then now I move to next question, second question, what JICA is doing for development of civic region, and also what JICA is going to do for development of civic region. This is a basic policy of JICA. Again, this is the other basic policy of JICA. We always try to align ourselves with the policies of central and state government, including Make in India and Tamil Nadu Vision 2023. And also in this civic region, we are organizing joint monitoring committee with central government, state government, other stakeholders for realizing and expediting important infrastructure project and also development of nodes. Finally, this is the slide on some of JICA funded projects in Tamil Nadu. In fact, Tamil Nadu is the largest recipient state of JICA assistance among the states in India. This slide say second, but in fact, because of bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh, now Tamil Nadu is the largest recipient state and also the most important partner for JICA now. And there are a number of ongoing projects underway in Tamil Nadu, including Chennai Metro and unique program, Tamil Nadu Investment Promotion Program, TNIPP, which was also mentioned in inaugural session by Ms. Chitaraman, State Minister for Commerce and Industry, Government of India. So this is now very important program covering policy and infrastructure development to promote foreign direct investment in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu Transmission System Improvement Project, that is the largest transmission project in India for JICA. Tamil Nadu Afforestation Project, and also Chennai Hospital Development Project. And also we are working for improvement of Chennai port operation through technical cooperation. This is the overview of our current assistance and the prospective assistance in the future. You can understand we have quite comprehensive plan for assistance, including financial support, technical support, short-term, mid-term, long-term. And for future projects in Tamil Nadu, we are discussing about the Chennai Peripheral Ring Road and the Chennai Desalination Plant in Pelur and the development of Node Ponnelli and the technical cooperation to skill development. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So you've had a fairly exhaustive overview of the efforts by JICA. Now let's bring across a very large Indian conglomerate. Mr. Arun Bhagat represents the GMR Group, and he's going to explain to us his vision, the vision of his company, and the efforts underway.
Good afternoon, Secretary, members on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's getting very, very close to normal lunchtime, but we'll try and keep it as brief and as quick. The GMR Group and Tamil Nadu, of course, go back a long way. The history of the group, in fact, started from Tamil Nadu with the establishment of the first power plant at Basin Bridge. And then, of course, most of you would have traveled on the GST road from Tambaram downwards, which is again a GMR road. Some of you may have used the outer ring road, which is again a GMR road. And now we are developing a large industrial park, or as we like to call it, a special investment region at Hosur. So that's how we are linked, and that's how we're linked to the CBIC. I'm going to talk very briefly on how we can leverage the CBIC region, not just confined to our park, but all the other regions too. So basically, this has been explained. What we've not highlighted possibly earlier is that the entire CBIC belt is host to almost 1,230 Japanese companies, and which is why the interest from JICA and Japan. And it's basically based on the fact that it's an urban, industrialized corridor which can certainly deliver what it promises. Some of the projects which were highlighted just before me is the long-awaited upgradation of the railway link between Chennai and Bangalore. Frankly, it doesn't make sense to fly. The highway between Chennai and Bangalore, the additional access to the northern ports, the solid waste management projects, and the creation of the power infrastructure, which is in terms of the transmission lines, etc. And of course, there is another additional project which is where we are interested. And yesterday, Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also talked about it, the Hosur Engineering Cluster, which is going to be developed largely in the private sector as a special investment region in Hosur. The key areas that have been identified in the master plan for CBIC for Ponneri, of course, is auto components, machinery, chemicals and petrochemicals. At Krishnagiri, medical equipment, machinery, electrical machinery, Kanchipuram for textiles, pharmaceuticals, automobiles, of course. Kanchipuram, incidentally, could extend up to Vellore. So this, because it's along the highway, that's how we can capitalize on the effects of the CBIC. And naturally, Chennai, which continues to be a growth center. The advantages of Ponneri, I don't need to highlight. It's the closest to Chennai. It's got a couple of ports which are literally attached to it. It's being developed in terms of connectivity. And there is an industrial base which exists around Ponneri and which will now be further enhanced by the work that will happen post the development of the node at Ponneri. Krishnagiri, traditional base, Krishnagiri district, which includes Hosur up to the border with Karnataka, naturally is host to a lot of investment by major companies, was first automobile hub of the state, so to say, and has a unique benefit of leveraging something from the adjacent states, I should say. Actually, it's at the confluence of Andhra, Karnataka, and within Tamil Nadu. So a lot of advantages of locating at Hosur, and the nearest international airport is only about 90 minutes away. Kanchipuram is the industrial base of Sri Perumbudur and Orgadam, which is well known. The silk industry, many of us head there whenever we want to buy saris for the weddings. But then it's the concentration of technical institutes in the district which really make it a very advantageous location. And of course, the proximity to the Chennai airport and the Chennai port. Chennai has had the unique advantage for a long time. My colleague will talk about Mahindra World City, which exists there, which is now the new one, which is coming up with Sumitomo, the Ascendas One Hub, which is also going to be spoken about, and the estates at Ennore in terms of TIDCO as well as Tidal 2 and 3. So Chennai, Kanchipuram, going down to Krishnagiri, it's advantage all the way, starting from Ponneri. Two quick slides about the company I represent and what we are doing there. Well, what we're setting up is a smart industrial city. It's a all-encompassing city where you can live, work, play. Location, as I said, is extremely advantageous. It's about 1,000 hectares, which is quite a sizable size. 850 hectares is what we are launching first, and most of the land is with us. It has the advantage of being close to another state. I won't take the name, but you can all guess, which has all the advantages of the golf courses and the international schools and the other social infrastructure. So there's an existing advantage of the global companies which are there, the talent pool and workforce, and most importantly, and that's a dialogue which I've often used, which Shashi Kapoor has used in the past, of mere paas maa hai, mere paas zameen hai, I have the land. So whenever you require land, which is one of the most contentious subjects, that's where you turn to. There are, of course, friendly sizes of plots which are available. The very proactive policies of the state which help us. The infrastructure is plug and play literally, so it's water on the tap, power on the tap. And those of you who have used our airports know the quality that the group delivers, and that's what we promise at our site in Hosur. Thank you.
Thank you. And now again for a perspective on the Japanese cooperation and investment, we've got Mr. Haruyuki Shimura, Project Manager at JGC Corporation, for a brief overview.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Haruyuki Shimura of JGC Corporation from Japan. And I'm very pleased to participate in this program today, GIM, organized by a government of Tamil Nadu and supported by several partner countries. And also thank you very much for giving the opportunity to brief our business experience through integrated township development project named One Hub Chennai today. First of all, I would like to brief the summary of the One Hub Chennai, which is located 50 kilometers south from Chennai city center here, and then 1,500 acres of land have been developed, not only industrial parks, but also include residential, commercial, and others. So it is integrated township project. And this project has been initiated by Ascendas. Ascendas is a Singaporean developer, 100% owned by government, Singapore government, and IDEO, which is based on United States fund, but mainly Indian residential market. After that, Mizo Bank and JGC have decided to join this project. So I'm today representing all these our partners to brief our experience of the One Hub Chennai. As I introduced One Hub Chennai as integrated township project, this township consists of these three functions. First, industrial park, as this is the main function. And the next, B, business park. To support the industrial park, we will accommodate headquarters office function or engineering office function. And also lastly, C, in order to support industrial park and business park from life side, there will be so many social infrastructure like hospitals, institutionals, medical facilities, green park, residential, and others. So this is the concept of integrated township. Next, I would like to brief the reason why Japanese partners have joined this project. In 2010, Ascendas has introduced One Hub Chennai to Japanese government, and as the ideal destination for Japanese manufacturer to set up their factory in India with high quality of infrastructure. And Japanese government has encouraged Japanese manufacturer to expand their market from domestic to international, global, including India, so that they have started to find out Japanese partners. As a result of that, Mizo Bank and JGC have decided to join this project. And this photo shows when we have signed MOU between Ascendas and Mizo Bank and JGC in front of the representative from both countries' government of Singapore and Japan. So this project is supported by Singaporean government and Japanese government as well. Since then, we have entered into the business in India, actually, but it was not so easy, as you are aware very well. And this is a summary of World Bank report doing business 2015, which said business circumstance in India is ranked 142nd out of 189 countries. But if you look at each evaluation items, there are some items got high rank, like getting credit, ranked at 36, and protecting minority investors, ranked at 7th. So it doesn't mean always the business in India is difficult, and then also it is very important to study carefully case by case. Also, this survey was carried out in Delhi and Mumbai, so the result could be different from the Chennai one. Okay, so how about the Chennai situation then? This is the list of departments of Tamil Nadu government. So there are so many departments, and also there are undertaking bodies under each department. So there are so many organizations you need to coordinate with and getting approval from when you are going to start a business in India. So it is very important to get support from the government. In case of One Hub Chennai, in order to get strong support from the government, we have signed MOU in 2012 when Mr. Edano, Japanese METI minister, has visited Chennai at the time and met with Honorable Chief Minister. In front of both of them, we have signed MOU. Since then, we could get the strong support from the government. By signing this MOU, the government of Tamil Nadu has formed Project Facilitation Committee, where all representatives from all related departments, which I have shown, has gathered one place and then discussed and then solved the issue for One Hub Chennai. And then actually several committees were held and several issues were solved during the committee. But of course, some of the issue has faced the difficulty. In such case, we have raised this issue to the coordination meeting, which was chaired by Chief Secretary in order to seek his direction. So this double layer work frame was functioned very well, and then thanks to the government support and effort, now today One Hub Chennai become ready and under operation. Next, I would like to brief about the power supply situation in Tamil Nadu state. This blue color bar shows the installed capacity of conventional type power generation, mainly thermal power. And then green color bar shows the installed capacity of non-conventional power generation, mainly wind power generation. Sorry, I could get only 3 years data for the wind power generation, but in case of the wind power generation, once wind stops, and then power generation also stops. So we cannot say it is reliable or constant power supply. Then red line shows the demand. So until 2009, the conventional type power generation could cover the demand, but after that, it becomes short. So there are 2 hours per day power outage was introduced and applied. But Tamil Nadu government made effort so much, and then as you can find, since 2013, the capacity of conventional type has been increased, and also resulting in the 2014 June, the restriction of the power outage has been withdrawn. So now normally it is said that in India, power shortage is one of the major issues, but this is a good example. It is not always keep same situation and then improving day by day. So this is one of the good example in Tamil Nadu case. Okay, how about power supply situation to the One Hub Chennai itself? This is the photo of 110 kilowatt substation established inside One Hub Chennai by TNEB. So then also energized since 2013. So now the power is ready, available in the One Hub Chennai. Next, I would like to move on to the water supply situation of Tamil Nadu. The right side bar shows the demand forecast of the water supply. Okay, I will have to speed up. Now, right side is demand forecast 2017, almost 1600 MLD. And then current water supply capacity is left side under red line, 831 MLD. But again, the Tamil Nadu government has a plan of the newly constructed or expanded desalination plant in 4 different locations. Once those are implemented, then the water supply capacity can cover the future demand. And then how about the water supply to the One Hub Chennai? Yes, the water supply capacity, current one, includes 2 desalination plants. One is Minju, another is Nemmeri. Then this Nemmeri desalination plant is located very near to the One Hub Chennai, and it has been decided and agreed to supply water from there. This is a photo of the Nemmeri desalination plant, and it is under operation since 2013. As I mentioned earlier, this project is supported by government of Japan and Singapore as well. So there were Prime Minister talk in Singapore. They mentioned about this project. And also when we have the inauguration ceremony in Tokyo, the representative from all these 3 countries together and gave the congratulatory address. So this is the survey of the JBIC in Japan, and showing that the expectation to the India by Japanese manufacturer getting higher and then got first place among the world. Also, the data-wise, we can find strong growth of India, like GDP growth rate or automobile domestic sales. Also, the number of the company, Japanese company and offices in India increasing every year constantly. And now I just summarize the advantage of One Hub Chennai here. There's 5 points here, but I just highlight first 2 points. First is the world-class quality of infrastructure. It is said that in India, the quality of infrastructure is the issue, but we keep the high quality, world-class quality. And the second point, land issue free. There is no concern on the trouble with previous landowner. Even if it is happening in case of the One Hub Chennai, then we will have the responsibility to talk and solve these issues on behalf of client. So client can concentrate his own business here, and this will be stipulated in the agreement as well. So this is a very unique advantage of One Hub Chennai, which you cannot find in other industrial park. This is a summary of the one-stop service we provide, and this is location on the map, and this is the master plan. And then this pink color, blue color shows the industrial area, and then orange color shows residential and recreation, and purple color shows offices, commercial. Now this pink color area is the first phase, which we have completed and then under operation now. And this is the blown up plots of phase 1, which on the sale now. This is the photo, the signboard at the entrance from OMR. This is the main spine road inside One Hub Chennai. These are the other completed infrastructure already inside One Hub Chennai, like water supply tank and water treatment plant, in addition to substation, which I have mentioned earlier. And these are the client factory, and which is already under operation. So lastly, I would like to wrap up my message here. This project is supported by 3 country governments, India, Singapore, and Japan. And also there is no concern on the land issue as a unique advantage of One Hub Chennai. So today I have only limited time. If you have any queries, please contact of these people. And also we have a booth in infrastructure area. So that we can support and help that your business in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right, we have Ms. Sangeeta Prasad now from Mahindra Lifespace Developers to share with us their project that they're building in conjunction with the investment.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. While he kind of sets it up because of paucity of time, I just had an observation when Mr. Buhari came and said how Tamil Nadu is reaching out to the world. But what you did not share was how the Tamil Nadu is welcoming to the world. And that is why you have companies from all across the world who wish to invest in this country and in this state, because the state is home to the maximum number of engineering, automotive companies who find the state not only welcoming professionally but also personally. And what say of Rajnikant himself? So that's what Tamil Nadu is all about. I'm not a resident of Tamil Nadu, but I've had wonderful years here, coming from the shores of West Bengal to Tamil Nadu. And I'll share with you today our story of Mahindra World City, which started long before the industrial corridor term came into vogue. Lately, in the last 5 years, the industrial corridor term, and with the wonderful corridors which we are all developing in this state and beyond, have come into vogue. We humbly started our journey of Mahindra World City when we started acquiring land late 90s and looking at the opportunities of macroeconomic policies, special economic zone rules and regulations, industrial and urbanization becoming key to this country and specifically to the state, and the proactive government of the state, we started our journey as early as in 2002 when we launched Mahindra World City Chennai. This slide actually gives us now a snapshot what triggered us to start this journey of industrialization and urbanization in the early 2000s. SEZ's balance of payment crisis creating issues that the country had to look forward to something game-changing, industrialization and urbanization becoming imperatives. So we in Mahindras realized that if we want to be part of this journey, we need not wait, but start and trigger off something which is good and can be sustainable in future. I'll quickly tell you about the Mahindra World City model. It's a responsible model. Many words on sustainability and others we have used in the panel because we are all in the journey together. What we simply say is we have this vision rooted in future, and it integrates livelihood, living, and life. Because if we don't have livelihood, if we don't have investments and job creation, I think living and life then become the next steps. So the first thing we focused in the Mahindra World City model was to create livelihood, was to get investments from companies and corporates across the world to set up their businesses, set up their information technology platform, set up their car manufacturing facilities in Mahindra World City Chennai, because that's where skill complements with job creation, production complements with exports, and investments which bring profits. And then the city espouses the cause of living and life, which is the brick and mortar of residential and social infra. But is that enough? Because a city without a soul is just hardware. So what we espouse humbly is to thread it all together, which we call by community events and which we call as the ultimate of life. Just to give you a concept, I mentioned to you about the livelihood, living life, but one cannot just dismiss the fact that you need a very, very proactive and supportive government. So not only in Tamil Nadu, which is our first venture, has the government